Hello everyone. Today is day 2 of becoming stronger and I'm gonna talk about knowledge and about how care works for elderly people and for all age groups in general. Main focus on adolescents and elderly people. So what even is old? For example, am I old? No, I'm freaking not. I'm 17. I consider myself old, and the next year I'm gonna be legal, so I will be 18. But am I old biologically or chronologically? I'm not old. I'm still in the earlier phases of my life. The various age systems are defined as follows. From ages 0 to 1 are the infants. These are basically very small children who can't even walk on their own and need a uh, proper care by their parents and like other people like their brothers, sister, elders, and even elder age children. The second group comes in toddlers, which are basically ages 1 to 3 and 3 to 5, and basically children who are old enough to walk and do things on their own a little bit, like go to washroom and stuff alone, but they're still very dependent on like their parents and seniors. Then comes the early, premature school children, which are basically ages 5 to 7 and 8. These are basically children who just got enrolled in, for example, kindergarten, UKG, LKG, upper kindergarten, lower kindergarten, and stuff like this, who are in first, second, and still stuff. And these require a lot of help, and they are very curious and stuff. And the next broad category comes in the young children, which are basically 10 to 12, and that we were like slightly mature. And the next bigger term comes in the adolescents or teens, which I belong into, which are basically ages 12 to 18, who are slightly bigger but not on fully adults. Like they are very their maturity levels are slightly better than like children, but they are not at the levels of adults. And then comes the ages 18 to 45, which are basically young adults and which are the working force. Then comes 45 to 65, which are the middle young adult, and after 65 is anyone who's old, like finished old. Now, in India, according to the 2011 census, there are 6.9% people in the range of ages 55 to 64 and 5.7% people in 65 age group plus. And this is all based on 2011 census. Now that we have defined what elderly people even come in, like people of our ages 65 and above, why do we need care for elderly people? This is because just like children who cannot live on their own, elderly people are also very prone to damages and need extra care for themselves. There are many things which are associated with aging, and these come under like on various health systems as follows. The first system comes in skin, nails, and your hairs. Now, the following changes experienced in this are: first of all, you can go bald. For example, males can often go bald in hair and crown areas, and okay, you can also start to observe thinner hair in your underarms or your facial hairs and other areas. You can also see brittle nails, like for this one, like brittle nails, and you'll often see wrinkles on their faces, sagging skin, and even sometimes pale skin, and sometimes whiter skin tone. And that thing, your skin loses its collagen, and that is why it's like begins to lose. And this is like the impact which you can see from outside. The next changes, however, are the internal changes, which are the respiratory changes, cardiovascular changes, you know and sometimes your immunity functions and your bone functions, muscle density functions. And for example, the next is our muscle density and bone density. For okay, now as you age, like especially from 40 years above, you begin to lose muscle at the rate of 1% per year, and this is known as atrophy. Basically, we begin to lose muscles in general, and muscle functions as well. And the second things which can happen is females can observe a lot of osteoporosis, especially in their menopause time and onwards. And people in general can see like osteoporosis or the lowering of bone density in general. Bone density lowers because the body cannot absorb the calcium properly due to metabolic reasons from your body, from the food you ingest. And this is the reason why people's bones become brittle, muscle function starts to weaken, and they have joint pains and all sorts of pains, even ligaments and tendons pain. And the next function comes in respiratory uh, functions. Respiratory functions can be quite unique, as for example, your nose hair might become thicker, your vocal cord will lose its elasticity, and you can also see some some lung issues, for example, weakened immunity. Then comes your cardiovascular function, which is follows. Your heart muscle density increases, plaque formation increases, your left side of the heart can become slightly increased, and plaque formation increases, and LDL and HDL related cholesterol issues can also happen. The next is the gastrointestinal issues, which can happen as follows. Basically, you don't feel much thirst. Like, for example, I'm drinking like 3 to 5 liters water a day due to my because I'm a teenager and I need more water. But for example, like elderly people might not drink the same amount of water, or in general food or calories. People don't really feel hunger or thirst. When they get older, their metabolic rate decreases as well. The next issues can also be seen in the urinary pathway. Basically, your kidney or your nephrons becomes to shut down. You can have increased chances of kidney stones. Your kidney stops to function properly, and all these things can happen just because you are entering a new phase of life and you're becoming older. Now, the thing is how to take care of your body. For example, elder the next part resembles about how to treat these problems and how to treat the following changes which occur in your body due to aging. First of all, one of the best things you could ever do is focus on your body and increase exercise, uh, increased calorie intake, and good food and good nutrition and good recovery due to sleep. And even most of your problems will be solved just by this. Your muscle density, your bone density will increase. You might not lose muscle at a rate which you're expecting, and you can help with your cardiovascular health as well, which is known as cardio. Or and you can also happen to like lower your fat rate, which is through HIIT training, high intensity cardio training. And yeah, that's basically it. Now let's talk about the new next phase, which is like the like teenage. Now we have moved forward from the elderly care to the teenage or the young children care. Now, as I am also a teenager and I've went through these phases, I will try to uh, explain these phases in a very like concise manner because this is one of the only phases I remember. And uh, teenage is basically when you are like from the age group 12 to 18, and this is where you like uh, become more moody, you have the most hormonal shifts, and you also face a lot of calorie uh, things as well. Caloric problems, and when you can develop a food eating disorders, and you suffer from a bunch of issues which can happen, some of them including polycystic syndrome, polycystic ovarian syndrome, PCOS or PCOD, uh, your early or delayed menses, ADHD, maybe even depression. Some can develop gynecomastia, some can develop hormonal changes, some can become moody, and some can get affected on their mental health. And people may, or maybe teenagers may, isolate themselves from adults. Their friend group becomes their ultimate priority, and they have a high focus on how to look better or good in, like, in their friend circle over their parents. They choose, it's like the first age group where you choose your friends over your family. And this is like the first and like one of the best rebellion phases of your entire life, where you rebel against your entire family. And teenagers itself, because they're so hyperactive in this age, and their metabolism is on actually peak of their life, and they're going through so many hormonal changes. Their metabolism is on constant peak and requires a lot of minerals, vitamins, and B complexes, and macros, and to develop their body and develop their uh, future. And I think that is all there is to about adolescence. But yeah, bye.